We are introducing Arewa Youth Mentorship Program. The AYMP is a collection of Northern Nigeria academics and professionals from different spheres of life who volunteer to offer free mentorship and equip Northern Nigeria youth at all levels with necessary knowledge on career opportunities, scholarship grants, personality building, innovation, among others.
On behalf of the Arewa Youth Mentorship Program, I would like to welcome everyone to this special session host. It's virtually kind of a continuation on our previous session regarding the PTDF scholarship process. So this is basically to focus primarily on the interview processes. As most of you are aware, that the commission, the PTDF, has contacted many of the beneficiaries that the interview, I think, is going to take place on 19th, 20th, and 21st of this month. I was really expecting that maybe only the beneficiaries or the selected participants, the selected candidates for the final stage, would join this. But surprisingly, I think we have a number of guests. I think this is also a welcome development. Before we go further, Dr. Habeeba, please, may I confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
Okay, because someone, I think, is saying that he cannot hear what we are saying. Okay, so like I said, this is a continuation on the PTDF application process. I think I will advise, especially for those that have not applied for the PTDF yet, maybe against next year, or even those that are going for the interview. There were some important remarks that were made in the previous session. So please go and watch the other session, the first one, before watching this particular session. The previous session also, I think Dr. Habeeba and some of the panelists have spoken on the interview process, go from surface. So today, I believe they will digress, they will go deep into the subject. So it's still an added advantage for you. Without taking much of time, I believe most of the participants here are already, most of them are members of the Arewa Youth Mentorship platforms. I believe you have all joined the Telegram and other social media handles. Usually that's where we share in case there is any slide, or if one of the participants maybe is using slides, so we will share the slides, inshallah, in the Telegram page. And in case they are not, then that's fine. So having said that, I would like to invite Dr. Habeeba, who has been part of the panel. Actually, she needs no introduction, I believe. Her introduction is already given in the previous session. So for those asking about the links, I will share them. Don't worry, inshallah. After this introduction, I will share all the links so you can use them. So like I said, Dr. Habeeba is no longer a guest here. She is part of us. So, and she has been part of the PTDF panel for years. So, I mean, you are opportunity, actually it's a privilege to listen to her speak about the interview process, because this is something that she has, done before. She has interviewed many candidates. So I believe probably she might talk a little bit about what we have discussed in the previous session and then add more light to it. So as we go further, things will unveil, inshallah. Dr. Habeeba, please, you can start. I think I'll give you the floor so you can commence the presentation.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Woodil. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice being here again. Like you said, I'm Dr. Habeeba Atta. I'm speech beneficiary of the PTDF scholarship during my PhD. And then in the country I visited was Cardiff University. That was in 2013. So just on a lighter note, Dr. Woodil, even though I have been a scholar for many years, I actually didn't join the panel for the interview panel until very recently. So, but that notwithstanding, I felt it's a very good initiative of the Arewa youth to set up and host this talk to actually aid and assist people in their applications. So I'll just jump right into it. The first thing, when you have been shortlisted for the interview, I would like to congratulate those that have been shortlisted. It's not easy. There are so many applications. So if you are fortunate enough, you have a very good application, a strong application to be shortlisted, kudos to you. That's also a pointer to the fact that you could also get other scholarships. So now the first thing is that before you arrive at the interview venue, you want to make sure that everything that you were asked on the portal to bring along with you, you have them. So that means your original credentials, no photocopy. If you want to bring photocopy, fine, but you must ensure you have the original documents, your O-level, your JAMB results, first degree, if it's a master's, if it's a PhD, your master's certificate, and sometimes even your transcript, if you can have access to a transcript, even if it's a soft copy, even if it's a soft copy of your transcript, it's a good idea to have. Because I just saw a message of someone saying they couldn't hear the host. So can you just confirm if you can hear me? Okay, fine. So I'll continue. So you want to make sure you have all your original documents. And then whether it's a master's or PhD, you must have uploaded your statement of purpose or proposal as the case may be. Please ensure you come with a hard copy of that proposal or statement of purpose, because there have been times when maybe in the process of a poor network connection, whatever the person must have uploaded on the portal end up not coming out in full, because there was an instance where we had a candidate. So when we were talking to her, we asked her, your proposal doesn't have anything to do with what you said we were going to do. Because what we had was just a short version of her proposal, and she insisted that she had everything. So when we showed her what we had from the portal, we realized that maybe during the process of uploading her documents, the whole thing wasn't. Fortunately for her, she had the full proposal, and then that was what we used. So imagine a scenario where she didn't have the full proposal, that would count against her. So I would urge you to please come along with a hard copy of your statement of purpose or your PhD proposal. Now, on the day of the interview, make sure you are there before time. If you're scheduled to be facing the interview panel at 10 a.m., it doesn't mean you should be there at 10 a.m. You should be there well before 10 a.m. It's better to be there 30 minutes to 1 hour before the time, just to be on the safe side. And then usually there's a list where they would give the order of the applicants in the order in which they'll come into the interview room. So most times it's not random. So someone will come out and call maybe a group of 10 names. That's mostly the case, but I'm not saying that is always what happens. So once you have a case of calling names, so ensure that you follow that order. There are times when maybe 2 people before the person or 1 person before the person is not available, and then you would now be called in. And then make sure you have a good grasp of what you want to do before you face the interview panel. Now, you into the room, you are facing the interview panelist. The first thing you do is greet. You greet the interview panelist. And then you don't sit until you are asked to sit. So once you are seated, once you have been asked and you are seated, you'll be asked to present your original documents for viewing, because we'll have to verify what you have uploaded on the portal with the original copy. It's not good enough to have, to say you have WAEC and come with NECO. So if you have more than 1 O-level sittings, please ensure you come with the original of all your sittings. Before that day, try and get the scratch card, whatever the case may be, relating to that O-level course, and try to get your results from the portal. So If you cannot come with a hard copy and it happens that day you're already there, all we will ask you to do is to try and get a scratch card while you're at the interview venue and try to get your O-level results. But it's better for you to come with your hard copy because it makes you more organized. So now you are facing the panel and they have asked you to bring your original documents. Please ensure that you only bring those documents that are necessary. Only those documents that you have been asked to upload on the portal. And it would be nice to arrange them in an orderly fashion. So if you have a primary school certificate, you can do it chronologically, starting from primary, secondary, O-level, masters, as the case may be. And then you want to have your birth certificate, statement of state of all, have those ones handy. So make sure you arrange them. It's either you start with the most recent or you start with the most previous credentials. So make sure you organize your credentials and do not come with something you don't need for the interview, please. Make sure you only come with your academic credentials, your birth certificates, and any other thing you are asked to upload on the portal. So when you now hand your certificates, the next thing is to ask you, what do you want to do? What is your proposal? So you should be able to summarize what you have on your proposal and make sure you don't give a lot of unnecessary, let me call it non-technical jargon. If they say, okay, we want to know you, it doesn't mean you start telling them, I'm married, I have 3 kids, you know? So you should follow, I am Mr. Blah, blah, blah. My background is nuclear physics. I had my first degree in blah. I had my second degree in this. I'm interested in studying how modeling, whatever, relates to the petroleum industry because I believe we'll be able to solve problems A, B, and C. You know, so like that. They say, okay, this person is focused. He knows what he wants to do. So make sure you try to practice before that day. In case they ask you, tell us about yourself or what do you want to work on. So now that brings me to your proposal or statement of purpose. Please ensure that whatever you're going to do is something that and is going to contribute to knowledge. Very likely, it is better if you have something relating to the petroleum industry. But even if it isn't, if it's a strong proposal and it's addressing a current problem, a very big problem, let's say wastewater treatment, that is a big problem, you can also come along with it. But try and make sure as much as possible that whatever you want to work on is related to the petroleum industry. And then an opportunity for you to sell yourself when they ask you to talk about yourself is to talk about some skills, some soft skills you have. I mentioned in the last session that it's not good enough to just think then automatically you'll be selected. No, the strength of the proposal is 1. And then 2, you must have something that the other guy, the other fellow with the first class doesn't have. Do you have good public speaking skills? Do you know how to code? Have you had some kind of volunteer work? Do you work part-time in an NGO? Are you very active in your, let's say, your student association? Are you a member of professional societies? And I'm not just saying being a member on paper. Do you attend conferences? So all these things will sell you better. It's make somebody happier to see that it's not just about the academics, but you are able to bring some skills to the table. The world is changing now. It's not good enough to just be good on paper. People want to know if you can deliver. People want to know what you have to offer. Are you going to solve a problem? So make sure that you purchase on anything other than your academics that is relating to your proposal when you come for the interview. And make sure you are polite. So some people that do not have a proper etiquette when it talks to addressing a formal setting. There's certain language you shouldn't use setting, right? That is an interview. So make sure you watch your language, you are polite, you don't interrupt the panelists when they are trying to ask a question. You have had people that when you're asking them questions, they don't even let you get to the point and they just interject. So please, when the panelist is trying to say something to you, allow them, be patient, allow whoever is speaking to finish talking, and then you can now say what you have to say. And then the way you address, please try as much as possible to be formal. Sure you address formally because that's the first impression someone is going to have of you. So I think the only other thing I'm going to mention now is the fact that every year certain requirements change. There are years when professional certificate is important, number of publications is important, and what have you. But last year we didn't consider all that. So it changes from year to year. It doesn't mean because last year they asked you for journal publications, this year you bring journal publications. The most important thing is the strength of your proposal and how you are able to sell yourself. So when you come in and you say you are, let's say, a chemical engineer, and I ask you about hydrocarbons, and you cannot even define what a polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon is, come on, I will just not take you seriously. So please, you have to be worth your onions. You have to know what you want to do, because this is a scholarship that will sponsor you outside the country. So you want to make sure as much as possible, whatever you are going to do is worth being outside the country. That is also another point. Is this something that you already have the resources in Nigeria? If that is the case, then you don't have a strong case. It has to be something that we realize the facilities and what have you may not be adequate in the country, and you may need to travel outside the country. So make sure you take care of all these things before you come for the interview. I think that's all I have to say. That's my summary. I'll allow all the other panelists to have their say. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. I think you have done enough justice to the topic. And I will not say much, maybe only I will highlight on some of the most important things you have said. You have emphasized on the need for one to be punctual. You have emphasized on the need for one to be composed, and also the need for one to be confident and organized during the course of the interview. You have also highlighted that one needs to go there early and with all the documents required. So this usually people used to forget. I have this experience. I think the best thing is if you have your maybe envelope where you have all your certificates. So make sure that all the certificates, all the documents that you may require, put them like at least a day to, like if you are going for tomorrow for the interview tomorrow, make sure you gather everything today so that you will not be caught in this. So make sure that you have everything, and if possible, have the photocopy of them. So you have the originals and the photocopy. In case they ask for the photocopy, you can just give them. Because I know usually you hardly find photocopy places in those exam venues, or they might be quite expensive. So this is just one thing. She also highlighted that when you go there, you should not sit until you are asked to sit. So this is part of, I think, ethics. And you should be polite as much as possible. There shouldn't be any form of interruption or interjection while the panel is addressing you. Also, she talks about the proposal and the SOP. This, I think we can say you have already passed, like this stage, you have submitted your proposal, most likely during the application and the SOP, but still it's a good time for you now to rehearse them well. You know, in the interview, generally, sometimes even if the quality of the document is not that very high, but if you are good in selling the document, you can sell it well to the audience. So believe me, you can get accepted. Just you need to convince them on why they should sponsor you, why they should spend like almost 100 million naira on you to go for PhD. And if it is for MSc, I think they will spend more than 30 million naira also. So you need to justify that definitely. And if your proposal is not something related to petroleum, you know, or related courses, you should try as much as possible to make it, you know, you can always twist things related to maybe environment, you know, or in a way, something that is of fundamental importance to the society or the nation in general. In general, I mean, you should sell yourself. You should try to highlight on the skills that you know you have, and they will be of high importance. Of course, she talks about the public speaking part. You should be able to deliver. She talks about the volunteering. If you have volunteered before, maybe in 1 or 2 organizations, so it's a good opportunity for you to capitalize on that. And lastly, I think she mentioned that if the course you are trying to study is something that is doable in Nigeria, for instance, I don't want to mention names, so it's better for you to, you know, try either to find a course that cannot be done in Nigeria, because definitely they consider that, you apply maybe to study for either linguistics or something, they will tell you to go to any Nigerian university, you can do it. So you need to justify that the course you are studying is something that you really have to go outside. So this is a brief of what Dr. Habeeba said, and I believe many things will come up as you ask questions. I really want this session to be kind of interactive one, so that I know you have many questions that you want to address. So I want to allow many people to, as much as possible to talk. But then, please, those that have been selected for the interview, let us give them a priority. Let us prioritize them, at least since they are going for the interview. So if you are selected for the interview, please, when we come to the questions and answers, you can raise your hand. Let's do that favor for them, please. I think, but before then, the other panelists are also here with us. I think I saw UmmuSalma. So UmmuSalma, please, if you are there, you can unmute yourself and also talk briefly about the interview process. And by the way, this is not only for PTDF, the information they are giving, it applies to all the interviews for all forms of scholarships. So I think the knowledge is still useful. So Dr. UmmuSalma, are you with us, please?
Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I think Dr. Habeeba has said almost everything. So if I may suggest, we can
go ahead
to the question and answer session.
Okay, then that's fine. That's fine. Do we have? I think Engineer Salim is not here with us. The other panelist is Mustapha Yarima. I believe he would have something to say, particularly for the MSc part, but I don't think he is here with us. So let me just allow people to ask their questions. We'll go directly to the questions and answers so that we can round up the session at least in an hour or at least 1 hour. So I will start calling names. Please, when you are called, just go directly to the point, ask your questions, and they will address it. That's one. Secondly, please try to minimize, maybe 30 seconds, maximum of 1 minute, so that we allow as many people as possible to ask the questions. So let me start with the first one. Musa Abdullahi, please go ahead and ask your question. You can unmute and then ask your question. Okay. You can go ahead, please. Okay, we cannot hear you, Musa Abdullahi. Muhammad Musa, please. You can unmute and
okay. Assalamu alaikum. I don't know if you can hear me.
Alaikum salam. Yes, we can.
Okay. My question is simple. I was selected for the interview. I did in 2020 the same interview. Okay. Unfortunately, I wasn't lucky enough. And this year I'm selected as well. My question is, I have experience in the IT, and also I've attended some international trainings. Is it okay if I mention my background in IT and also these trainings I attended internationally, or I just go on just the SOP I presented?
Okay then. Dr. Habeeba, please, are you there?
Okay, yes, I'm here.
Let us do it in kind of interactive, so that when he asks, you can attempt the question.
Yeah.
But we cannot see you.
Sure.
Okay.
Let me turn on. Let me turn on my video. It's okay.
All right.
So all right. So Mohammed, congrats for being shortlisted. I see you've been shortlisted twice, so that's a very good sign. I also tried like twice before I got shortlisted eventually. So don't give up. Just keep trying. So what I would say is, if you have any form of training outside the country, even if it's not related to what you have in your proposal or SOP, you can still talk about it. And IT is very, very relevant. We're in the information age, so trust me, you're on the right track. There is no field where you cannot apply some IT skills, from form of IT skill, whatever, humanities, arts. So please do buttress on it. You can just mention it as an added skill. Like, I attended so training and I learned this skill, and it's possible maybe you have applied that skill somewhere. You mention it. It's fine.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Thank you, Doctor. Please, one thing, in calling names, we will try to call those whose full names appear, please. So in case if you are using something like Galaxy S8 or iPhone, whatever, please just log out and come again. I will call only those whose full names appear. So next, I think we have Abdul Qadir Yakubu. Please ask your question. Yeah, Abdul Qadir. Okay, please go ahead. Okay, we have Mr. John. Mr. John, please ask your question.
Good afternoon, Mr. Audi.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I would like to direct my question to Dr. Habeeba. I was actually shortlisted for the interview, and I had some little challenges I'm trying to clarify on. I made the changes on my name, and since she has been honest, I want to know what are the implications of this, because already I have the legal documents of all the changes I've made, like the newspaper publications and the court affidavits. So I'm planning to take them along as I'll be going, but I want to know, being a member of the panel, I believe she might have faced this kind of issue before. Can she just enlighten me more on this?
Dr.
Thank
Habeeb,
you.
please.
Okay. So, Mr. John, so the change of name you have, are you saying the name you used to apply is different now, or maybe the name you use in publications, or I just want to be sure.
Mr. John?
Mr. John, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was having issue unmuting myself again. The name I used to apply is the recent name I'm using now. But the former name, I've already made the legal document capturing that this was for my former name, but I want to be bearing this name now.
Okay, so it's not a problem at all. Once you come along with your evidence of change of name, you're fine. It's okay.
Okay.
It's not going to affect you in any way.
Okay.
Mr. Jabir Yahya. Yeah, please go ahead and ask your question. Jabir Yahya. So when I call your name, you will be able to unmute yourself. So just quickly unmute and ask the question, please, so that we don't take much time. I think you are not ready. We'll go to Patrick. Patrick, please unmute yourself. Ask your question.
Thank you so much for the privilege to ask my question. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Dr. Habeeba. Good afternoon, the moderator. Yeah. So my question is, while applying, I did not include a paper I once had while in university, and this paper was part of a conference proceedings for mechanical engineering students in my school. So I want to ask, can I go with a paper that formed part of a conference proceeding while I was in university? So this is my question.
Okay, thank you.
Or
Dr. Habeeba, do you want to attempt this?
She has left the session.
Okay, maybe she's having some technical glitches. Okay, I think I can attempt this one. From my experience, if you have certain publication or something that you have not previously included in your application, you can always come with it during interview, because things are progressing. For instance, maybe the time you applied, you didn't have the publication, but as time goes on, you got it. So this is even like an added value, something that you can add to your CV to strengthen it. So you can, it's not anything that will not affect your credentials. It's not negating it. You can go with it. It doesn't affect you negatively, I believe. So please, next one is Ummu. Please ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum. Mine is not a question, it's a recommendation. Since it is meant to be a mock session, maybe it will be helpful if those that are not invited for the interview leave the room. At least you've given a general overview of what is expected in the interview, and then you can create breakout rooms so that those that are going can interact among themselves, and you will also join them from time to time.
Yeah, I think this is good, but maybe later we will do it. We will, maybe after the session, we can ask those that are specifically invited to wait. Like now it's more of general questions and answers, but related to the interview. So let us allow them to stay and get this session. Of course, this session will even be uploaded on the YouTube. So it's not bad if they stay, I think. But those that have been invited specifically, we can still interact with them after the general information. Thank you very much. So Ahmed Hassan, please ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much. My question is with regards to my statement of purpose. Initially, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, please.
Okay. So I initially submitted the statement of purpose.
We cannot, you are not clear actually, you are not clear. We cannot hear you well.
Okay, what about now?
Yeah, or maybe can you type? Can you type?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay, now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Better now, right?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, so I made some changes to my statement of purpose, and within the window period for uploading any changes to statement of purpose, I couldn't make that upload. So can I come along with the statement of purpose which I have made changes to, or I must have to strictly work with what I uploaded during the application?
Okay, so you are saying you changed your statement of purpose?
Yes, sir.
All right. It's not the one that you used during the application?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, Dr. Habeeba is here. Let me have her opinion on this. She is with us now. I think she's come back. So I will allow her to attend to this question.
So sorry, my network went off.
No, it's okay. I can see. So Dr. Habeeba, this the last question is saying he has applied with an SOP and later he has edited it. So can he use the edited one during the interview?
Definitely, he can use the edited one, and he has to come along with the edited copy to the interview. So he can, and he has to quickly tell them, maybe he comes in and say, I'm sorry, I have an edited copy. So this one I have is the updated copy, and then he can now hand them copies.
Okay, I hope that has been answered.
Very clear. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yusuf Muhammad. Can you ask your question, please?
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I have been selected also to attend the PhD interview. My questions are two. First one is related to the one earlier asked by one related to statement of purpose, but in my own case is research proposal. At the time of the window period that they gave for us to update our proposal, if any, we couldn't have I couldn't have made that changes and they closed it. So I have an updated copy. I also want to ask whether I could be able to present them, whether that is acceptable or not. As my second question is that I am an academic staff in one of Nigerian universities. I don't know whether that will help or is an added value to me, whether I can present that during the interview. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for the questions. Yes, and the first thing is, okay, so you know the answer to the first question is okay, it's fine for you to come with your edited copy. And then for the second question, yes, definitely. If you're an academic staff, that is an advantage. And I'm not saying this because I'm an academic, but I've noticed that those that are in the field of academics or research, those applicants, when they come in, most of the time you can tell because they are more confident, they know what they want to do, they are more structured and all the technical details are in order, for most of them anyway. So yes, it's an added advantage. You could even purchase on the fact that you need this because it's a kind of capacity building, because when you come back, you are going to add value to your teaching and your research. So it's a very good thing for you to even mention that you are in academia. So it's an added advantage for you. Because even when I came back, I had to restructure certain courses I was teaching based on what I experienced in the UK. So you have to mention that, and it's also going to affect your research skills because you'll be transferring these skills to your subsequent students who you'll be supervising. So yeah, definitely do that.
Okay. So the second question.
All the questions have been answered.
Okay, great. That's great. Then now let's go to, maybe we'll pick three ladies. Zara Muhammad. Zara Muhammad, please go ahead and unmute yourself, ask your question. Okay, if you are not there, we will go to Aisha Bello, please.
Hello, good day. Thank you for this opportunity. I happen to be, I'll be attending the interview, but I selected virtual interview. So please, I would like to know how the virtual interview, how do you do it? Am I supposed to share my screen for the credentials and so on? Because I don't have information on that. Yes. Thank you.
Dr. Habeeba.
Okay, so hello, Aisha. So if you are invited for the virtual, it's practically the same order. It's still going to follow the same order as the in-person interview. I'm not sure if you have to share your screen. I'm not sure, but perhaps you should prepare for that because during the panels where I was involved in, we had certain people were chosen to handle the virtual, so they were moved to a different place. So I don't know exactly if they asked participants to share their screen. So, but to be on the safe side, I would advise you prepare a very short, maybe 1 or 2 slides covering your statement of purpose or your proposal, whatever the case may be, just in case you are asked to share your screen. But I don't think that's going to be a problem as long as you are able to have a copy, even if it's a hard copy with you, and you're able to guide them and explain what you have there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. And on this note, I think I had some virtual interviews. So what I will add is, of course, then we used some slides. They will ask you to prepare maybe 10 to 15 slides just to explain why you apply to that course. Why are you interested in that course? So even in general, the questions like people ask in interview, this is not only for PTDF. Whatever you apply, why did you apply for it? For instance, why did you apply for nuclear physics? That's one. If you are applying to, let's say, University of Manchester, why are you applying to University of Manchester? You know, and here people used to, especially our people, they used to feel like, okay, if I tell them because University of Manchester is a great university, like the university has these professors, big professors, renowned worldwide, all these things. No, that's not what they want to hear actually. They know that their university is great, so you don't need to tell them. They know that they have facilities, so you don't need to tell them they have facilities. But let's say you tell them, okay, because in my, let's say my master's degree or my undergraduate degree, I worked on so research area in nuclear physics, for instance, and the university has some professors whose interests also align to my research area. So if you tell them that, then they know you are ready, you are fully prepared, that you are ready for business. When you come, you will just start something like, serious. So try to answer questions in this direction. Try to tell them exactly, specifically, why are you interested in that university? Like, what are they doing that coincides with your interests? Not just like they are great, they are, you don't use those general language. Zara, please, are you there? Okay, hello. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
We cannot hear you.
Oh, good afternoon, Zara. I actually heard her voice.
You cannot hear her, right?
I can hear her.
Okay, okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, my question is that they have specified what we are to bring along, the documents. So, and then Mrs. Habeeba has mentioned some additional documents. So I don't know if we are to carry that one along also.
Sorry, if I may ask, what are the additional documents I mentioned? Is it the transcripts?
Yeah, transcript, primary certificate, birth certificate, and JAM result.
So that's why my emphasis was on what you uploaded. So if you've taken what you've uploaded, any other thing is just additional. But at the same time, it has to be relating to your education. That's why I mentioned primary school certificate and transcripts, because the transcripts will give us an idea of how to grade the study, especially when it comes to those that are applying for PhD. So their master's transcripts will let us know how to grade what they got in their final CGPA. If it is not stated on their certificate or master statement of result, then we'll now ask, okay, do you have a copy of the transcript? So that one is not a necessary requirement, but it's an additional document which you should avail yourself of, but it's not compulsory for you to have it. If you have it, fine. If you don't have it, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Next,
so in case
you're welcome.
Okay. Go ahead. You have another question?
Yes. My second question is that the course I choose is a broad course and it has a subspecialization course under it. So can I just go ahead and explain it to them that I want to specialize in so aspect? Or
definitely. Are you going for master's or PhD?
Master's.
Okay. So it's a postgraduate program. So it's always good to specialize, mention. I think everybody's field, I can say everybody's field is very broad. So like you can pick, for example, my area of specialization, I'm a microbiologist, but you can pick 10 microbiologists and we'll all have 10 different areas of specialization. So it's very good for you to focus on the area you want to specialize within your broad field. So you should do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Habeeba, there is something very important, I think, that we should highlight. What I used to know before, for PTDF, PhD, there is a need for proposal, right? And kind of like a proposal defense. You present the research that you want to do. But for masters, before, it was only the exam, right? The MCQ.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if this is still the trend, or now they do oral interview for master students.
Yes, they still do. They do the oral interview, and what they bring is the statement of purpose.
Okay, for the MSc.
Yes, for the MSc, and it's not usually as detailed as that of a PhD proposal for obvious reasons.
So they don't need to present. They don't need to present any research for MSc. Only the SOP, right? And talk a little bit in the background about what they want to do.
Exactly. So the SOP will talk about their background and how it's going to help them in their proposed research that they'll conduct for their masters.
Okay. This is very important. So next, we have Nafisa. Nafisa Muhammad, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Wa alaikum
assalam wa rahmatullah.
Hello.
Ask your question.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello, we can hear you.
My question is about the SOP do we have to print out and give it to them, or the one we uploaded is enough?
Well, you don't have to print copies. But like I said, there could be issues with maybe the internet or when you're uploading it. So it's usually better you come along with copies.
And also, I actually did not talk about what I want to do, like the project I want to do for my MSc. I just talked about what I wanted to study and how it would benefit the petroleum sector and everything. So I don't know if I am going for the interview, I should talk about the project, maybe, because I heard you said only PhD students talk about projects and do defense about projects. So do we also have to I have to like talk about, since people I know, the MSc students have talked about a little of what they want to do when they start their MSc. So do I talk about project?
Yes, definitely. And I'm sure I didn't say only PhD students. What I said was PhD students, PhD applicants submit proposals, research proposals, which has to be very detailed and well structured and organized. So master students are submitting statements of purpose, which will still mention whatever it is they're going to conduct their research in. So definitely, if you didn't mention it in your statement of purpose, it's a good opportunity for you during the oral interview to mention how it's going to relate to the petroleum industry.
So we also have Dr. Fauziya with us. Dr. Fauziya Yakasai is also a PTDF scholar. She really, actually, I will not say recently, she completed her PhD from the United States, also through PTDF scholarship. So I believe she will assist us in attempting some of the questions. Let me go now and pick another. Please, who is Project Connect? I'm calling only those with full names so that we are sure that we are safe. Jibril Ali Zengina. Jibril Ali Zengina, please unmute yourself and ask your question. So Project Connect, please kindly maybe go out and change the name and come back so we can call you.
Hello, please, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can.
We can hear you.
Thank you so much for organizing this. I was selected for the PhD interview. My issue with this is whether we have a kind of structured questions that PhD candidates are supposed to be asked in the interview. Thank you so much.
So Habeeba.
Okay. So Jibril, there isn't any particular questions that are reserved for PhD students. But what I will tell you is that the expectation is higher from the PhD applicants. So what you might let slide for a master's applicant, maybe in their statement of purpose, may not easily be acceptable for a PhD candidate. So for example, if you are going for a PhD now and you have submitted your proposal, I will expect a certain level of consistency in the way you write your proposal. So your referencing format has to be consistent, your paragraphs have to be organized, it has to be structured. And then you have to give us a little bit more details as to what exactly your research is about for a PhD candidate. So I think that's basically most of the difference between a PhD and an MSc applicant. But when it comes to the oral interview now, so the kind of questions you'll be asked generally is just to find out if you are actually equipped to conduct that study you say you want to conduct. That's one. Two, are you well grounded enough based on your background? And three, how does it relate to the petroleum industry, or how relevant it is generally to research? So that's just basically it. But there isn't a set of questions, particularly for PhD students. It's just that the expectation is higher because you are more, let's say you have more degrees and you have more experience, and very likely your area of maybe wherever you're working is somehow relating to what you want to conduct your PhD in. So definitely the expectation is higher from you.
Wow, that was great. Thank you so very much, Dr.
You're welcome, and all the best.
This is really great. Dr. Habeeba, I think We are lucky this time around. Many people have received the invitation for the interview here. Most of those speaking, you can hear that they have received the interview invitation. So let me call the next. Abdullah Ibrahim, please unmute yourself. Ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, I just wanted to ask a question regarding I used to stammer, so I want to know if I should if I want to know if I want to know if I should notify the panelists before the interview starts, and also I want to know whether it will affect my chances or not. Thank you.
Okay. Wa alaikum salam. It doesn't affect your chances at all. It doesn't affect your chances. We actually had an applicant that taught us too. So, but I think the instruction became really bad when because he was nervous. So just ask him to just calm down, take his time, and explain. So it doesn't score you less points at all. It doesn't. So, but I would also advise you when you come in, you tell them, okay, this is my condition. I stutter. You know, that's fine. So it's okay. It's okay for you to mention it, but it won't affect you in any negative way at all. It's not a problem.
Next one, please, Nuruddin. Nuruddin, please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you for this privilege. Please, I'd like to know, like, how many minutes will be given to present the proposal, and what happens if I couldn't complete my presentation of the proposal before the time lapses? Will I be allowed to finish, or I must stop? Yeah, the timing.
Dr. Habeeba.
Shortly.
Okay.
Was it assessed by human or robot? As in, was it assessed by software before final shortlisting was done? Who assessed the proposal? Then the third question. I don't know, maybe I should mention this. So mentioning that, don't you think it can affect me or something?
Hello, are you still there? I don't know if it's just me, but
I think his network is, but I think the questions are okay. You have taken note of the questions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so please go ahead.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. He asked about the time given for presentation. So are you going for virtual? If you are going for virtual, that's a different thing. So probably you might be given time to present. And then if at all you'll be asked to present, I believe in the invitation, they'll let you know the time you have. Or immediately they are going to start the interview, they'll tell you, okay, you have so amount of time to make your presentation. But even if you're not given that time, I would advise that on your own, try as much as possible to summarize the proposal, not more than 8 minutes. But if you're not going for virtual, if it's the oral in-person interview, from my experience, there's no such thing as, okay, present your proposal. What would ask you is, when you come in, tell us briefly about yourself and what you want to do. So there is nice, and then just give the important details. That's to answer that question. And then for the other question, you said you came back, you just recently came back from the UK, if that's going to affect your chances. Well, it depends. Were you self-sponsored or were you sponsored by an organization? Because if you are self-sponsored and that happens to come up, like, oh, okay, this person is fine. He's doing very well. He can sponsor himself. Let's give it to some other chap that doesn't have the means and has a good proposal. But if you're not self-sponsored, maybe you were beneficiary of scholarship or fellowship, then you can mention it because that puts you in good light, and that means you are a go-getter, and then you have very good skills, which anybody would want to sponsor your research. So I don't know if I've covered all your questions.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Dr. Next, we have Zainab Zanna. Please ask your question.
Additionally,
okay, you want to add something?
If I may add something, yeah, about
okay.
About him studying in the UK. Many of my colleagues who were sponsored by PTDF for their MSc, and they still got the PhD sponsorship. And I myself too, I did my master's in the UK using scholarship, and I'm currently doing my PhD with PTDF. So I think it's an added advantage because you have you already know how the environment is. You know how the study structure is. So I think all the PTDF are after is they don't have their money. They need candidates who can cope with how the UK study is, or I mean the overseas study is. So you shouldn't be discouraged by being a beneficiary of an overseas scholarship or an overseas study.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for this complimentary information.
Another chance.
Let me also comment. Alaikum rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. My name is Mustapha Yarima Musa. Sorry for coming in late, even though I was here earlier on, but I was kicked out due to some network issues and I couldn't rejoin it quickly. Regarding this question he raised, I think also with that, I don't know, some universities in the UK here, if you get to graduate with a distinction or a 2-1, they have like some scholarship schemes which they give to those set of candidates that graduated with a 2-1 or a first class distinction. So with that, you could play two ways. If you have an admin university and all you need from PTDF is just for them to give you a stipend over the period of time, and they'll be really glad to do that also, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Mustapha. So next, please ask your questions, Zainab.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. So one of the requirements is one has to be a member of I'm not a member of any professional body, and I have not uploaded anything because I'm not a member. So does that affect my chance of getting this scholarship, not being a member of any professional body? Thank you.
Who wants to take that in the panel?
Assalamu alaikum. I don't think that will affect your you being selected, because if I can remember, when I applied for the PTDF scholarship, I wasn't a member of any professional society yet. So, and it didn't affect me actually. So I think it won't affect you. That won't affect actually. Yeah.
That's great. That's great to hear.
But Dr. Habeeba can say more. I don't think.
No, I don't think it's going to affect actually.
I
wanted you people to talk about it, but it's not going to affect her in any way. Maybe it could be an added advantage if she had, but not having any professional.
Exactly.
It will not. Fauziya, were you in any professional organization before getting PTDF? Maybe she's not here. When she comes back, she can answer this question.
Yes, and the professional, it doesn't really affect it, but I recall there was a year that they actually gave points for that, but the points they give is very, very minimal. It's minimal. It's not something that if you don't have it, it will affect you. So it's just an added, it's just a boost for your application. So it shouldn't bother you at all.
Okay. Next is Bello. Bello, is it Bello Tukur or please, Bello, go ahead and ask your question.
So my name is Bello Tukura. I'm also one of the lecturers in one of the Nigerian institutions. My third time being selected for the PhD scholarship in the PTDF. So my question is directly to,
I think you are not clear. Is it only me or?
I possess some skills, though I'm a remote sensing and GIS expert, and my research proposal is also aligned to the petroleum because I'm mapping the dynamics of oil spillage in order to solve the conflict resolution in Niger Delta. So
that's very good.
Most of the skills that I possess, recently I attended a workshop on photogrammetry and remote sensing in Germany, and I also developed a navigation app for my institution. I won TED Fund institutional-based research on mapping the dynamics of agricultural land uses in conflict resolution using farmers' others. And I also part of the members that won National Research Fund for modeling on banditry hotspot in Zamfara State. Those skills that I've mentioned, do I need to mention them to the panel so that it can give me another advantage?
They are very, very commendable. And at the time of being shortlisted, you should mention that. And then all this recent work you have done, you have won research grant, even outside the country, winning a research grant, just even one, you have won like two. It's an added advantage for anything. So please make sure you mention these things. If you've had publications already from this research grants, you should even mention them. So please don't mention these things at all. They are very commendable. I'm sold already.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All the best.
Okay, that's great to hear. Some of you are asking about the links. I have already posted them on the charts. So please, I'm posting them again now. You can use them to get all the information and join the platform. Okay, I've just posted them now. All right. So the next on the queue is Saifullah. Saifullah Misha. No, we have Momo Jimo Abdullah first. Momo Jimo. Then Saifullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alex, please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm also an invitee. My first question goes this way. During the process of the application, we applied for we applied 3 universities and 3 courses. And in my own case, I applied 3 different courses. So my question is this: which of the courses am I going to defend during the interview? And my second question is this: I'm currently running my master's degree and at Bayero University, Kano, but unfortunately, due to funding, I had to back out. Can I put all this during the presentation? Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Habeeba,
does other panelists want to take? Okay, I wanted to let other panelists say something.
No, I think you can talk about it. It's okay.
Okay. So the first thing is, if you have applied for 3 different courses, So what you want to do is make sure you mention each of these three you have, and you tell them why you have decided to pick these three different courses. But I believe among these three, there's one that you really prefer amongst the three. So, or one that is more related to the petroleum industry, whatever the case may be. So I think you should focus more on that one, but you should still say, okay, I have applied for these A, B, and C, and my reasons are A, B, and C are all linked to solving maybe SDGs, or they're all relating to this problem or this issue. So it's okay if you talk about that. But if you want, if there's one of them that you really have more experience in, then you talk about that one and then relate your background to that particular course. And then you said you had started your master's before in the UK. Is it in the same course? Is it in the same field in which you want to do your for your scholarship?
Physical
okay.
chemistry.
Okay. So you can mention it if you want. I was going to say if it's in the same, you can mention that you have started, but for financial reasons you had to stop, and then you want to now go for this scholarship and use it as an opportunity to now continue your master's.
Saifullah, please ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. My question is this. It's regarding the dress code. I don't know, can we dress like Dr. Yakubu Udil, as he is, the attire he's wearing now, or it has to be formal, like it's a suit and a tie, or a trouser and a shirt? And then also CV, is there any need for us to bring our CV to the interview? Thank you.
So he said, can he dress like me? Dr. Habeeba, let me on my video so that you can, if that's okay.
Put your
If that is okay, then you can dress like me. Otherwise, he has to.
Definitely. Well, doesn't just mean English, so you reveal. Yeah, he's looking very good the way he is now.
Yeah,
so
he is.
You can dress that way. Yeah, sure. You can dress that
It's
way.
acceptable,
So
right?
you can even dress.
It's acceptable. Dr. Habeeba.
Yeah, and then
yes, definitely.
The CV, is there any for us to bring it?
No.
Yeah.
Especially if you are not asked to upload it, you don't have to do it to your CV. It's not something we ask for. We don't request for, except this year they request.
No.
And also relating to the dress code. So it could be northern traditional wear, it could be south, whatever the case. Just don't come in with sneakers and jeans, looking very casual, you know. And then even if you are going to go for the English wear, if you're not going to wear the complete suit, if you're just going to wear a shirt and the pants, then make sure you have your tie.
So
if you're wearing a shirt, make
Dr. Habeeba, you are saying he should dress decently.
Very decent. He should be decent.
Okay, then.
All right, thank you.
She didn't come in bathroom slippers.
All right, thank you very much.
Dr. Habeeba,
you're welcome.
I think another option is since it won't hurt to get all your documents, they are not heavy. I think they can just bring them in case if some.
Yeah, sure.
It's not your CV should be just 2 pages or so. It doesn't hurt if you just put it in your.
And for the ladies, you can wear your hijab. I wore my hijab during the interview.
Definitely, you can wear your hijab.
You can wear your hijab or abaya or any other.
Your
himar. It doesn't have to be
can,
this too. It depends on your culture, your tradition. I think it doesn't have to be this too, right?
Exactly.
Nigeria is big.
Exactly.
So next one is Bilkisu.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. Please, this is the third time I'm being invited for PhD. I did my MSc through the PTDF scholarship as well. But I do not have a journal publication, and I'm a member of a professional body, but I do not have any documents to prove that or support that. I don't know if this is what has been affecting my chances of getting the scholarship, and if it will still affect me. Thank you.
So who will answer this?
Okay.
Let me just maybe speak on this. The first thing I will say is you shouldn't lose hope. There is no reason for you to start losing hope even before you get to the panel. So you should keep your spirit high, that you can make it, you can break through in this attempt or in this opening, to say. Regarding sorry, you said you don't have what? Sorry, come again, please. Hello.
Yes, we can hear
You
you.
said she doesn't have journal publication.
Exactly. So journal publication, it's a plus. As I think Dr. Habeeba, how the panel works is they are criteria they give points to. If you have this, they will give you a point. When you have this, a point. So it's based on that. So once you come, if you don't have a journal, try to see where do you have, where are your other strengths within this panel discussion you will have. So try to leverage on that. If you don't have the journal, try to find something where you are strong in and try to leverage on that, so you can balance that, complement what you don't have. I think that should be, just keep this high, and I wish you all the best.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. for this insight. Next, we have Mariam Sagidado, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, while updating my interview venue, I uploaded a wrong statement of purpose. So my questions are, should I go with the one I uploaded during application? Or again, I realized that even that one is wrong. Can I just write another one and go with it? Then my second question is that I have an award. Can I go with it to show them? Thank you.
Okay, yes, you can go with your award. You can go with your award. And then relating to your question, so you uploaded a particular SOP, isn't it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, she did. That's what she said.
So the one you uploaded, and then if you want to go with another one, are you saying, because I don't really get your question. Are you saying the one you uploaded?
Mariam, can you repeat the question?
Okay, you know, I uploaded a statement of purpose during application process.
Okay.
So while updating my interview venue, I uploaded a wrong one, the one that I applied for for a university there. So now my questions are, should I go with the one I uploaded first, or I can even like write another one and go with it?
Okay, so you shouldn't write another one, because that's like, how do I put it? It's like you're trying to take advantage of the fact that you can come with an updated copy. So what I would advise is the first one you uploaded, not the wrong one, the one you actually wanted to upload, the first one, that's the one you should go with. And then you explain to them that this is what happened while I was updating. I mistakenly uploaded a different one, but this is the one that I actually wanted to upload. Please don't write another one.
Okay, thank you, Ma.
You're welcome.
Rukaiya.
In that, sorry, Dr. Habeeba, in that case, does she need to make like multiple copies to give to the judges, because maybe they may end up having the wrong one she uploaded?
Yes, definitely. So that's why I mentioned earlier that when they are coming with their hard copy, they should come with more than one. They should come with like maybe 3 copies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 5 with Habeeba, I think. Well, you know,
or even those that came with one, we were able to pass it between ourselves and go through it. So you don't need to come with so many copies.
So the judges used to be a bit lenient, right?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, but then come with the multiple is better. It's kind of present you
on
well.
the safe side.
So usually first impression is very important. So if you give them that impression that you are serious, Rogaya, are you with us? Maybe if it's not. We have next, is it Laju Jeremy? Please unmute yourself, ask your question.
Hello, everyone. Thank
Hello.
you for the opportunity. Yes. Dr. Habeeba mentioned about during the introduction process, you should talk about your volunteering opportunities and your participation in conferences. So I want to ask, are we to carry evidences of our participation, like documents, and also submit it to them? Is this allowed, or you think it's unnecessary?
Okay, so if you have, those ones are additional documents. So when you're asked to bring your credentials, you won't include that one. But when you're asked to talk about yourself, you can now say, I have done this, and I even have these documents to show. Then you can now present them, yes. But even if you don't bring them along with you and you're able to explain and tell us, clearly that you have participated in so activities, that should suffice. But if you have physical evidence, you can come along with the physical evidence.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. This is very important. And also at this point, please, I would like to suggest that if you are applying to other scholarships, not only PTDF, try to watch, I think we did around 5 to 6 different sessions, on scholarship applications, some peculiar to certain regions like the Germany, the United States, and some a bit more general. Some we did them in Hausa, some in English. So I'll advise that you go to the Arewa Mentorship YouTube channel and watch. Most of these things we have spoken, we have discussed about them before, but it's just a matter of discussing again. So please, that's very important. Having said that, I will take another question from Abba Said Uba. Please, Abba, go ahead and ask your question. Yes, we can. Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Yes. So regarding the master's interview, I already have around 3 to 4 admission in different states. I have one in US and UK and even UAE, but most of the admission are partially funded. So can I have present the admission letter so that they can see I have really prepared for the postgraduate studies?
Okay. Dr. Habeeba, you want to answer this?
Okay, I wanted to let the others say something if I add anything, if I have to.
UmmuSalma, are you there? Can you answer this, please?
I think that is an added advantage because I have a friend who has stipend, but only wanting to get her tuition fee, and PTDF gladly paid for her. Yeah, so I think it's an added advantage.
Really, I also believe
the second question.
Advantage.
Okay, what's the second question?
So, what about if I already choose a school and after that I realize it isn't reputable? For example, it is QS ranking is much high, and I want to change that school after I already get the scholarship. Do I have that chance to change for the school?
So the question is it possible? I get your question, Abba. Let me just rephrase the question. Is it possible, Dr. Habeeba, like I get PTDF scholarship for one university, let's say I have University of Manchester admission, and later I decide that I don't want to go there. Maybe I want to go to University of Oxford. Is it possible to change while, I mean, after the maybe award or even before the interview? Is it possible at any point to change the university that I have applied? What's the rule?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm not sure if. Okay. No, if you want to say something, can go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's possible because I presented an admission from Newcastle University, and then during the documentation, I told them that I wanted to change to Liverpool because I already knew how Liverpool was.
And you did?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. The answer is out. Next one, please, Rukaya Zanaba. Please ask your question. Okay, some of you maybe have raised your hands and you've left. So I will take the next one from Abubakar Hashim.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. My question is regarding the membership, professional membership. I have applied for the membership last 2 weeks, but I have learned that I won't get the certificate before the interview. So, but they say they can give me evidence, maybe letterhead or something that can show I'm a member. So my question is, will the finals attend to that or accept that? Thank you.
Anyway, let me allow them to answer. We have said it before, like this professional membership is not like a requirement, you know, it is just, if you have it, you can put it. If you don't have it, it's fine. You don't have, it's not like a must, you have to put it. Yes. And if you are a member of any organization, you can write in your CV that you are a member of so organization. Nobody will like, you know, focus too much on like you have to bring the certificate evidence that you are a professional member of that. If you put it in your CV, that should be fine, at least.
Yes.
You know? So I think this should be enough. Khalifa, please ask your question. Khalifa Musa.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My question is, I have actually applied and the category I selected is for this.
Yes, we can.
The category I selected is actually for the Germany here and the rest, but I actually have an admission from a UK university. Can I also come along with it and present during the presentation? Thank you very much.
Dr. Habeeba, is that possible?
Yes, it's possible.
Okay.
You can come along with it.
Okay, that's it. In short, that's good. We have Abdullah. Abdullah, can you ask your question?
Let me add on this issue to be. I have someone who is of the same issue.
Hello. Yes, Abdullah. I think Dr. Mustapha is trying to add more light to the previous.
Okay.
So just
previous question, right? Yeah. I said I happen to know someone who had a similar issue on this, but I don't know for what reason PTDF really rejected his offer. He had admission. He applied, for the Germany, France, China, and he was successful all through. So he got his admission, but later on he came on with a request to switch into UK, but they rejected that request. But I don't know, still maybe they might be flexible to consider your own, but it's still good to give it a try. Don't give it a try. If it works, fine. If otherwise, just work on what you have.
Yes, it's good to give it a try because, like I said, over time they have come to realize certain issues, and then they try to be more flexible and more accommodating. So it's based on a case basis. So depending on your individual issue, you might be lucky.
Yeah.
All the best.
Okay.
Do you have a scholarship on that, or is just admission? Who is the person that asked the question?
Maybe it's left.
Oh yes, no, okay.
Matthew Muhammad Haruna, please ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, all. I have a couple of questions. Please, I want to know the things you do assess. Since you said every year you used to change the marking scheme or something, the things that used to be assessed. And please, how do you grade the students from medicine and surgery, the grading? Because our degree is unclassified. There is no first class, second class, or something like that. And my thought is, please, I know in our oral exams and in IELTS, what they usually say is if you are asked a question, you don't stop, you keep talking, keep flowing until you are asked to stop. Please, is it this interview, is it still the same thing? And my final question is, what's the duration of the interview for MSc? Thank you very much.
Okay, so let me start from the last question. So for MSc and PhD, there is no particular length of time, but on average, we find that we spend more time on the PhD candidates. So the average time, depending, the average time could be 5 minutes, between 5 to 10 minutes, depending, because for some people, when they come in, there's really not much to talk about, not because they are not good enough, but there are some people that when they come in and they start telling you some other things that they do, and it might spark more questions from the panel. And it might also go the other way. It might ask you some technical questions, like I mentioned something to do with hydrocarbons earlier. We might ask you some technical questions and you're not able to answer. But sometimes we'll ask other questions to give you chances to be able to, redeem yourself. So there's no actual time for the interview, but it is very difficult for a person to spend up to 15 minutes in the interview room. So maximum time should be 15 minutes. The average time is about 10 minutes for each candidate. And then for those degrees that are unclassified, especially for the PhD applicants, that is why sometimes we ask for your transcripts. So because for some that are unclassified, they will put the CGPA. But if the CGPA is not there, then if you have your transcript, it will give us an idea of where to classify you. And then even though every year, certain things change, but there are some things that are fundamental that do not change. For example, your class of degree, for someone that has a first class is much higher. You have higher points than someone that has a 2-1, and then someone that has a 2-1 has higher points than someone that has a 2-2. So there are certain things that do not change over time. So the only things that change, the things that are flexible are things like supporting documents, supporting skills, additional qualifications. Those might change over time. So I don't know if I've answered your questions.
Yes.
Yes.
You did. All right. The next one is Bashir Muhammad. Please, Bashir, ask your question.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Well, my question has already been answered by.
Okay, that's great. That's good. That's what I want to hear actually. I had like all these hands that are raised. I wish the questions will be similar to the ones being asked, so that some will lower their hands. We have so many, too many hands. We have too many hands, and I'm trying to see that we answer as many questions as possible. So let's see. Abdul Salam Umar, please, your question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.
Okay, I have like 3 questions, one for you and one for Dr. Habeeba.
Okay.
All right. I have a recommendation letter. This question goes to Dr. Habeeba, please.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I have a recommendation letter from my dean, from the dean of my faculty and my HOD. Should I come with that along? And I'm currently working at Keystone Bank. Should I come with my, let's say, appointment letter, or should I just tell them during my introduction?
Okay.
So before I answer your question, can I just ask? Okay, go ahead.
You complete the question.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. What is the question?
All right. And the other question is for you, sir. I've been applying for King Fahd's scholarship for the past 1 year. I've applied it for about 3 times. I was rejected. So I want to know the problem. I graduated with first class and I wrote an IELTS exams and I passed.
What did you get in the IELTS?
6, band 6.
Okay.
I think that's their own minimum requirement.
Okay.
I even helped one of my friends last year.
Okay. Which department are you applying to?
Computer science.
Okay. Dr. Habeeba, please answer his questions. I will come to his own point. Please answer the ones directed at you.
For PTDF.
Yes. Yes, please.
Hello, are you there?
Yes, Dr. Habeeba, answer the questions he directed to you.
Yes, I was asking him what program did he apply for and what course for the PTDF.
He's from computer science background anyway, but let's see.
Okay. What I'm asking is because he said he had a letter of recommendation from his HOD and then he works in the bank. So that's why I'm trying to see if there's any relation, if it relates to his work, what he's applying to study. Is this something to do with IT? Is it something to do with IT since your background is computer science?
UmmuSalma, can you tell us, please?
Hello?
Yes, did you hear my question? Are you applying for something to do with IT?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What did you apply in the PTDF?
Cybersecurity, MSc cybersecurity.
Okay, but are you thinking of applying it in the oil and gas industry?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine. So the recommendation letter that came from your HOD, does it have anything to say about your skills?
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. You can bring that along with you. Yes, it's fine. You can bring that along with you.
All right. Thank you.
Because sometimes it might just be like kind of a release letter and saying that they are aware you're applying for something. That's why I want to be clear about the language there. If it's something portraying your skills and talking about how relevant the program is for you, then that's very good. You can bring it along with you.
Yes.
Okay. So I think just to answer is the last part of the question, the one he directed to me. Actually, for KFUPM, having first class is not an automatic acceptance. The acceptance rate is 4% usually. Out of the total applications they receive, they select only 4% of the people. So you can understand, you can imagine the caliber of the people that will apply globally. So I think keep trying, but maybe the suggestion I will give you is if this time around you apply to computer science, you couldn't get it, maybe apply to next time something related. Because some people, when they apply to physics, they couldn't get it, they apply to material science, they can make it. If they apply to material science, they couldn't get it, they apply to something related. So try to find something that is related. Maybe in the other departments, there might be less competition, so you can get it. That's my suggestion.
All right. So, sir, do you know why I even asked you this question?
No.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, please. So we don't have much time. We want to.
All right. I helped one of my friends last year to even fill the application for the King Fahd scholarship. He graduated with a second class upper. He doesn't have anything special.
Same department as yours?
The scholarship.
The same department the same department as yours?
No.
Okay, that's where your answer comes. I told you. So please, that's not this. Next one is Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz Khadijat. Please unmute yourself. Abdulaziz Khadijat Olua. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. You have some sound coming from us.
Oh, sorry. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Oh, okay. My question is that I applied for 3 different countries for the same course and 3 different universities. Does that have an effect or not my chances? Because I heard some say they apply for the same country throughout, and I want to know to be prepared. If I'm asked why I applied to 3 different countries, Germany, Malaysia, and France. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Habeeba, you want to answer this or any other panelists?
Let me allow Dr. Fauziya to answer it.
Fauziya, are you there? I think she's not there.
I'm here. But my own is 7 years ago, Dr. Dr. Habeeba. I don't think I can remember. But I don't think it should be a problem anyway. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. I don't think it should be a problem.
I don't think it's a problem, but even at my own time was even like at least 10 years ago. And then we didn't even have the option of these other countries. It was mostly US, a little bit limited US, but mostly UK. And then there were even specific universities within the UK that you could apply to. But I don't think it's a problem.
I think in our own case, it was open. Like they just need admission in UK or even US. There was not. It's not that popular. Like all the universities they were approving are from UK. So I think we were just 2 or 3 people that even tried to apply to US. At that time, we just risked it. I applied to UK, I also applied to US. And then we tried our luck and they were able to, they approved the US one. But most people, like I can say 95% of the people that applied to UK. So I don't think it's a problem. You can apply to all the schools you mentioned. And then when you go for the interview, I don't know, like now it's like they just give the scholarship before you get admission. That's what I noticed. Okay. But then during our time, you need to have the admission before you're able to get the scholarship.
All right.
So it doesn't matter. Yeah.
At this point, I think we will have to allow Dr. Habeeba to leave. Actually, she told me since yesterday that she would have some engagements today, but I just tried to persuade her, to get her in the session because of her, enormous, much experience in the PTDF stuff. So we are really grateful, Dr. Habeeba. I understand that you will have to go for other engagements. Maybe we will wait like for 10 to 15 minutes more for us to see if we can respond to some of the questions, myself, UmmuSalma, Fauziya, and Dr. Mustapha, and then we will call it off. I believe we cannot also finish all the hands. We have 75 still now, 75 hands raised.
75, wow.
Yes, and one thing that I noticed is most of the people asking the questions, they are invited. It's not like they are not part of, most of them, they all have the invitation for the interview. So I think this is a good sign for us. It's a good sign. And I think most of the critical questions, we have answered them. Most of the questions that what you are supposed to do, we have answered those questions. So I will try and see that if we can get this session uploaded also to the YouTube as soon as possible. In case you want to go over it again, you can check the channel of our YouTube channel of the Arewa Mentorship so you can watch it. And also I advise you watch the earlier one, the first one we did on the PTDF scholarship to also complement your information. So Dr. Habeeba, maybe we can excuse you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and wish you pleasant.
Thank you too for having me, and well done. Kudos for the great job at Arewa Youth Platform. You're doing a lot of fantastic work.
Thank you. So we will see if we, thank you, bye-bye, Dr. Habeeba. If we can take a few more questions, and then maybe we will stop at exactly 4 o'clock. So we have Fatima Farouk. Please, can you ask your question? Maybe you are not ready. Okay. So we will have Sani Adam. Please ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon to you all. My question is that I was selected for an interview, PTDF interview. I applied for MSc. So I do not have a single publication. I want to know the chances of winning the scholarship.
Is it
Thank
master's
you.
or PhD?
MSc, masters.
No, you don't have problem about that. We have talked about that before.
Okay.
It will just be an added advantage if you have, but it's not a problem for you. But if you have done any research in your undergraduate, maybe as an undergraduate research project or something, you can try to capitalize on that. Try to mention that you have some research experience and or some internships. All those experiences, you can bring them on board.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. We have Salma. Salma, please. Your question? Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Okay, hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you for the audience. I'm Samit and I applied for the PhD route, and my question is my interview process is via the virtual platform. So I'd like to know what difference does it have an advantage or a disadvantage with regard to presenting my qualifications? And then I'm told I have to sometimes just wait till they're done or something. And then what happens when there's a problem with the network? How do I navigate it? Is there a center to send an email to when I face any challenges? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, among the panelists, is anyone?
I had Yakawai go and look for good network where you have good network.
Okay.
There's advice I will give you. Like, make sure you work on it. Make sure you have a very strong network there.
Another advice is to have another network. Maybe to use two. You can have maybe mobile and computer, something like that.
Yeah.
One fails, you can just back up.
Okay, I'm not too bothered about my network. I have a good one. I'm just worried, what if it's from the panelist or there's a delay, and then does PTDF acknowledge that it's not from my side, you know?
Of course they should. They shouldn't be that
Yes.
sad.
Okay.
That should not be a big deal, really.
Okay.
And I think I will prepare the virtual interview because
for those with nervous, if you are nervous, right?
Yeah, you can. At least you are sitting in your own apartment. You won't be that nervous.
At the comfort of your room.
And is there a slide? I think I heard something about having a slideshow or presentation. I'm not sure of that.
Okay, let me say this. If you are to do it using your maybe laptop or iPad, all those documents that you know they may require, try to have them close to you in case there is need. So you can always share your screen and share the document in case there is need for you to discuss something. So you can always bring it up and share it with the panelists. Normally that's the process.
Okay, thank you very much.
Most welcome. We have next Okasha Awal. Maybe we will take 5 more. Anyway, let's see. Okasha Awal, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, thank you for having me. My question is, I graduated with a 2.2, but I have almost 2 years work experience and I took a couple of online courses. I applied and I got invited for the interview. So I don't know if there are special tips you can give me, because obviously someone with 2.1 and first class will have advantage over someone with 2.2.
Obviously. So I think your case is kind of special. The fact that you are invited to the interview, at least that's your plus. So my advice to you is, you cannot change your class of degree now. They already have that edge. They have that edge over you. So what you will do is try to look for the areas where you can work on. Like try to show your research expertise. If you have some, if you have any, try to show that you have. Try to show maybe you are volunteering something. If it is SOP, try to show, write it well. if to say you have not taken your English exam, I would say try to make sure that you do well and got high grades. So those areas, you know, usually scholarship application is a holistic process. Holistic means they will not just pick at, like, look at your, they will not pick your statement of results and say, okay, he has first class or he has 2-1 and just award the scholarship. No. Each subsection has its own marks. So at the end, it's the total that will prevail. It's the total marks that will help them take the decision of whether to give you or not.
Okay,
So
I have some online certificates for courses I took. Should I go along with them? Would they come in handy?
Go with them. We have said this several times. Any experience that you may think this could be helpful, go with it.
Okay, and I had someone talking about recommendation letter from workplace. Will that be something I should try
Recommendations?
to get?
I think you have already gotten recommendation, right, during the application. Is that referee letter?
No.
Is that right?
No, I didn't.
During the application,
no, I didn't.
There wasn't any need for submission of recommendation letters?
No, there was not. I didn't submit that.
Okay, if that is the case, then you can go with it in case they need. But generally, international scholarships, they will ask for recommendations during the application phase. But that's okay. Go with it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So this is for everybody. In case you have this concern, please, also it applies to you. Anything that will not harm your application, go with it.
Go with it. Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Next one is this a company, Nigeria Limited? We need the people, please. Let's go to the next. Friday Destiny. Go, please. Friday.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for organizing this impactful meeting. I'm Ojila Friday Destiny. I applied for MSc. My question is, my date of birth is 24th of April. That's what I feel. That's my date of birth. But there was a mistake on my NIN, which shows 19th of April instead of 24th. I don't know if that will affect me in the long run.
So you are saying there's a mistake in name?
Yes, no, a mistake in date of birth on my
date of birth. Okay. Okay. Do you have international passport?
Yes.
Do you have international passport?
Yes, I have.
And the name is the date of birth there is correct or wrong?
It's correct.
Okay, go with it, please.
Okay.
It's justifiable. If you have the international passport, you can use it as means of identification.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you have the corrected NIN, because you can correct it, right? You can go to the office correct. So if you have the corrected one and then the old one that you uploaded, so you go with the 3. So international passport, the old NIN, so whatever the paper they give, and then the new one, so that you can tell them it you had some issue, but you have corrected it.
So it's possible for you to go to NIN office to file in your corrections. So it's possible. You can visit the office for that.
Okay, Haruna Rashid Muhammad. Haruna Rashid. Okay.
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, so I have just 2 questions. I wish Dr. Habeeba is still around because maybe it might be related to her. So since I learned she had a PhD and even the undergraduate from microbiology, so I wanted to get maybe some head-ups because I'm also applying something similar, bioremediation, and I've checked her up. She mostly do her project on bioremediation. But anyways, I just want to, because she mentioned there is the importance of knowing some technical terms regarding what you want to study. So perhaps any of the panelists available can give them head up regarding the technical terms and how to make your case strong.
UmmuSalma is also from biological sciences. She can help you.
Okay. And then finally, the question, or I can notice the presentation or the discussion centers around how strong your SOP is, but what of other questions maybe regarding the industry in general, the petroleum industry in Nigeria, or current affairs, or the PTDF in particular? Do those questions also come up?
So please, UmmuSalma. Are you with us? Okay, since she's not here also, Mustapha, can you answer this?
All right, Doctor. The applicant, what I will say here is really, it's just about you selling to the panelists. Just get to sell it. You don't, the technical terms here is just for you to understand the context of what you are presenting. Just if you maybe try to turn the table around, look at yourself as the panelist, and someone is coming in for an interview, and he had filed in some report saying he has this and that and that. So just think of it. What will you ask of him, and what do you think will be the corresponding answers you might expect from him? So that's how you just put it into balance, I think. So if you just play in that two scenario, be in on this side of the table and go to the other side, I think you can just help yourself out. That's just the little to say here. I hope that answers well. Thank you.
Let's take a question from Suwaiba, please. Ask your question. And then maybe we take the last question from...
I think the last person you asked about current affairs, right?
Yeah, current affairs. That's very important. Fauziya, please answer that. Suwaiba talk.
Yeah. During our time, they asked about all those PTDF, what is it, directors and so on. But then I think in the last session we had with the AXA, if they still ask those questions, she said no, they don't do it. So it depends, you know, like the panel, they are not always the same people sometimes. So they can decide to ask anyway. So it depends on what the panel wants. But
so to be on the safe side, one needs to know them, right? It's better for one to know them.
Yeah.
Okay, just try to, I mean, search and find them, then to be on the safe side. Please, Suwaiba, ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you very much. My question is, I'm shortlisted for MSc in renewable energy. So I worked on my undergraduate project on renewable energy, but unfortunately I couldn't publish any paper on that. But I talked about it on my SOP. So can I bring the hard copy of the project to present as evidence for that?
Yeah, of course. Why not? It will help you. So your background is renewable energy. Renewable energy from which part? Is it from engineering, from physics? What's your bachelor's degree?
It's ecology.
Okay, ecology.
So I'm looking at safety of the gas. How safety is it to the environment?
Okay, I understand. So I think it's good. Go with it. It will help you.
Okay, thank you very much.
It will help you. So, like I said, I understand that many people want to ask questions, and some might be very important questions. So, in order not to miss anyone, I will open the Telegram group. In case your question is not answered here, just type it there. I believe our mentors are there to assist you. They will answer. If the question is really important, you feel you want to ask, please type it there, and somebody will respond to your question. Inshallah, it will at least from now to 2 to 3 hours close the group. So please just ask your question there. And so the last question we will take here is from Ms. Toure. Toure, please ask your question. It's already 6 o'clock here, 4 o'clock in Nigeria.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good evening.
Okay. My question is that if you are from the same local government, all right, and you have applied for the PTDF interview, and you are invited. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, and then finally, like the two of you from the same local government have almost the same score. You have the highest score as in from the same local government.
Hmm?
Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, yes. You are afraid of quota
okay.
system.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, let me summarize the whole thing.
So
You are
two of you, right? You are two students from the same local government and you all passed the interview. So you are afraid,
yes,
will you both be accepted or not?
Yes, as in the two of you. Or they are considering
Don't
local
worry.
government as
your question is very clear to everyone. Don't worry.
okay.
It's very clear.
Okay.
Two students from the same local government, they went to the interview and they all passed.
With the same. Yes.
So are they going to be accepted or not? Okay, let me be honest with you. I know as far as PTDF is concerned, usually they give like the same number or close to maybe 3 or 4 students per state. They do it generally per state, not per local government. So in each state, maybe they might consider those with highest score, the best 3 or 4 or something like that. So that's what has been the tradition, although there used to be some exceptions here and there, but still that's the norm. But then let me hear also the opinion of my colleagues here. Mustapha,
Doctor, you summed it up really. I don't think there is any other thing, because I remember sometimes during our remedial, one of our teachers said, Dr. Tauro, he said, you know, selecting the best, if the criteria was let's say 10 marks, and we have 10 people who got 10 marks and they only need 3, they will also introduce more criteria. He told us in the theater hall, he said it gets that even they might come to select candidates based on alphabetical order. So if your name is Aisha, then you have Habeeba. So if you have 10 of you who have all passed, but they need 3, then they will bring in criteria upon criteria. So they will take Aisha over Habeeba.
Yes,
so
what I'm saying, Mustapha, you know, generally PTDF is something all over Nigeria, and they make sure that every state has representation, right?
Exactly.
And I think there is like a number that they assign to each state, usually not more than 5, right?
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. So I mean, you shouldn't worry yourself about someone you know, having high marks, or just do your best. And I think that's my advice. Just do your best and leave the rest to the Almighty.
They keep, that is it. They keep putting in filters to see they get just required number they want. Keep praying and
All right. So thank you very much. And I would also like to thank everyone on behalf of the organizing committee of the Arewa Youth Mentorship Program, all the mentors and the mentees, of course. I will say see you soon in our next episode. And do not forget to join all the social media handles. Basically, that's where we share the information. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.
Okay, thank you.
You can also be part of it as a mentor or student. Join the Arewa Youth Mentorship Program on Telegram, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. AYMP, together we can be great.